She dumped me the week I planned to propose and ran back to her ex. I took a job in Vienna and didn't look back. Weeks later, she showed up bruised at our friend's house and learned about the ring, then flew across the ocean, begging for a future I'd closed. Hi, Reddit. Throwaway account because this story involves people who might recognize themselves, and honestly, I'm not trying to restart old drama. But if you're here for some reality check relationship justice, settle in. This is how my ex went from calling me a placeholder to begging at my doorstep after her choices caught up with her. I watched her cry on my building steps in Vienna through a security camera. She'd flown across an ocean for closure I didn't owe her. The first time she heard about the ring, it wasn't from me. It was from the friends she'd been pushing away. But let me start from the beginning. Second year of college, middle of fall semester. My roommate Ash dragged me to this campus coffee shop meetup for some group project people. I wasn't really feeling it, but she had this way of making you show up to things whether you wanted to or not. Good friend like that. That's where I met Viola. She came in late, hoodie pulled up, eyes down, moving like she was trying to take up as little space as possible. Ash knew her from a sociology class and waved her over. Viola Keller. She sat at the edge of our booth, barely spoke, kept checking her phone with this nervous energy that made everyone uncomfortable. After about 20 minutes, Ash walked her outside. I found out later she'd just left her boyfriend Jake. Not a clean breakup either. The guy had been controlling, volatile, one of those relationships where you lose yourself piece by piece until you don't recognize who you've become anymore. She'd finally gotten out but had nowhere stable to go. Couch surfing, crashing with different people, always looking over her shoulder. Ash brought her back into our group slowly. Study sessions, cheap food runs, the kind of low-pressure hangouts where you don't have to perform. I noticed things, though. How she'd flinch at sudden movements. How she'd apologize for everything, even stuff that wasn't her fault. How she'd go quiet when someone raised their voice even in normal conversation. I was studying environmental compliance at the time, working towards certifications that would let me do site checks and regulatory work. Boring to most people, but I liked the structure of it, you know? Rules that made sense. Problems with clear solutions. Viola was doing paralegal studies, same kind of detail work that needed focus. About a month after we met, she mentioned she was crashing at a really sketchy place, some friend of a friend situation that was falling apart. No lease, weird people coming and going at all hours, couldn't sleep, couldn't study. She mentioned it casual, but I could hear the stress underneath. I had a 2-bedroom place off campus. My old roommate had bailed mid-semester to transfer schools, and I'd been covering the full rent solo. Wasn't hard to do the math. I offered her the spare room. Nothing weird, just a safe place to land while she got stable. She looked at me like I'd offered her a kidney. She moved in that weekend with 2 bags and a box of textbooks. I kept it simple. Gave her a key, showed her how everything worked, told her she could use the kitchen whenever, just keep things clean. Made sure the apartment had basics she might not think to ask for. Extra toiletries, spare blanket, decent desk lamp. The first week she barely came out of her room except for classes. I'd hear her studying late, sometimes crying quiet through the walls. I didn't push, just left notes. Coffee's fresh, pizza in the fridge. One night about a month in, she came out after midnight, found me making instant ramen. Couldn't sleep, kept thinking I heard something outside. Want some? We ate terrible noodles on the couch at 1 a.m. and watched an old sitcom on mute. That became our thing. When she had bad nights, we'd eat whatever junk food was around, watch whatever garbage was on TV. Never mentioned it the next day. Just let her have the safety. Slowly, she started joining me for regular meals. We'd study together at the kitchen table, her with case files, me with environmental reports. She started smiling more, sleeping better. Our friend group expanded. Ash had introduced her, but we pulled in Jackson and Becca too. Jackson was my buddy from freshman year, practical-minded. Becca was a physics major who said whatever popped into her head. The 5 of us clicked. Weekly tradition became Thursday nights at a hole-in-the-wall diner. We'd decompress, roast each other, just be normal college kids. Viola fit into the group like she'd always been there. She got comfortable enough to joke back, give Jackson grief about his terrible dating advice, keep up with Becca's random tangents. She was funny when she relaxed. Things between us shifted gradual, not some dramatic moment, just proximity and comfort building into something more. She'd fall asleep on the couch during study sessions. We started sitting closer at group hangouts. One night after everyone left, she was washing dishes and I was drying. She turned to me and just said it plain. I think I'm falling for you. Is that okay? Yeah, I said. That's more than okay. We took it slow, kept separate bedrooms for a while, let her set the pace. When she was ready, she moved into my room because she wanted to. That fall and spring were solid. We both kept our grades up. She was doing great in her program. I was lining up internship opportunities. The friend group stayed tight. Ash kept us all grounded. Jackson and Becca had this obvious chemistry. They were both pretending didn't exist, but weren't dating yet, just orbiting each other at every hangout. Viola mentioned Jake sometimes, mostly in past tense, processing what she'd survived, how she didn't see the red flags until they were everywhere, how she lost herself trying to keep him happy, how she promised herself she'd never go back to that. "Promise I won't end up back there," she said one night before falling asleep. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? Chapter 2. Building Something Real. We graduated and moved into the real world. I landed a position as an environmental compliance officer, started at $72,000. Viola got hired at a mid-sized law firm as a paralegal, pulling $68,000. We got an apartment together. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. Small balcony where we'd have coffee on weekends. We were building something stable. The friend group stayed close. We still hit the same diner every few weeks, catching up on life. Year 2, Jackson and Becca finally started dating. Whole group saw it coming. Viola and I settled into a rhythm that worked. She'd have intense weeks, I'd handle more home stuff. When I had big projects, she'd pick up the slack. We didn't keep score. She was doing really well at work. Got promoted after 18 months. I was moving up too. Led my first major project. We celebrated the small wins. Her first big case win, we got takeout from the expensive place. My first solo project approval. She surprised me with a weekend camping trip. Normal couple stuff that felt earned. Year 2, we adopted a cat. She named him Wallace. He was a grumpy orange tabby who tolerated us on his schedule. Honestly, that cat judged us constantly, but we loved him anyway. We hosted Thanksgiving that year. The whole friend group crammed into our apartment. Viola and I looked at each other across the table and didn't have to say anything. This was family. Year 4, we talked about next steps. Not in a heavy way, just natural conversation about where we saw things going. Marriage came up. Kids eventually, maybe. Neither of us was in a rush, but we were on the same page about the future. I started looking at rings that summer. Nothing wild, just browsing, getting a sense of what she'd like. She wasn't flashy, but she had good taste. Classic pieces that lasted. I found one at a jeweler downtown. White gold band, round diamond, clean design, $4,800. I put it on layaway, paid it off over 4 months. Picked it up in November. Didn't tell anyone except Ash at first. We grabbed drinks one night and I showed her. She got this huge smile. "About time, man. You two make sense." I didn't have a solid plan yet. Just knew I wanted it to feel right. Something she'd remember the way she deserved. Vienna opportunity came up around the same time. My firm needed someone to coordinate between US operations and the Vienna office. 3-year commitment, potential to extend. Salary bump to $95,000 plus housing stipend, relocation covered. I'd still be on US payroll. I brought it up with Viola over dinner. She lit up. "Vienna? That's incredible, Nolan. When would it start?" 8 months out. Gives us time to plan. Her firm had international partnerships. We spent the next hour researching it. Felt like the right next step. The ring sat in my sock drawer in a small wooden box. Sometimes I'd look at it and picture the moment. Nothing fancy, just us and the question that mattered. That's when Jake came back. Chapter 3. The Ex returns. Started with a text she mentioned casual. Jake reached out. Said he's been in therapy working on himself. Wanted to apologize for how things ended. I didn't love it, but I wasn't going to control her friendships. She was an adult. If she wanted closure from that chapter, that was her call. "Just don't let it become a thing," I said. It became a thing. Coffee meetup to hear his apology. Turned into occasional texts. Turned into him calling her when he was having a hard day. She'd take the calls in the other room. Come back vague about what they talked about. Just checking in. He's really changed. Therapy's been good for him. Jackson clocked it first. We were at the diner, regular Thursday hangout, and Viola was on her phone more than usual. Jackson waited until she went to the bathroom, then leaned across the table. "Dude, that's not normal. She's been glued to her phone all night. She's dealing with some stuff," I said, keeping it neutral. "With Jake. Becca mentioned she talks to him a lot now." Becca jumped in, nervous energy spilling out. I didn't say it was weird or anything. I just noticed she mentions him in like every conversation lately. Which, factually, she does. That's just observation. She laughed awkwardly when nobody else did. Ash stayed quiet, but I could see her processing, choosing words. "You good with all this, Nolan?" "I'm not thrilled," I admitted. "But I'm not going to tell her who she can talk to. She's been through enough controlling behavior already. There's trust, and then there's watching someone walk backward." Jackson wasn't wrong. But I didn't want to be that guy who freaked out over texts, so I held my ground and watched it get worse. Jake started showing up more in conversation. She'd compare us sometimes in ways that stung. "Jake thinks it's cool I'm taking that certification course. You're good on paper, Nolan. Really stable. But sometimes I wonder if that's enough." The friend group dynamics shifted. Viola pulled back from Thursday dinners. Always a reason. Work ran late. Not feeling great. Tired. One night, Ash texted her about meeting up. Her reply came back fast. Can Jake come too? Feel like you guys should get to know him better. The group chat went silent. Becca broke it with her usual lack of filter. Wait, we're doing Jake hangouts now? I thought we were your safe space from all that. Viola showed up alone that night. Defensive before anyone said anything. You guys made it weird. Jake wanted to come be supportive, and you all acted like it was a problem. Nobody made it weird. You asked if he could come. We didn't think that was what you needed right now. What I need is for people to respect my choices. She grabbed her coat. This was a mistake. She left early. Stopped showing up to most group things after that. When she did show, she was distracted. Phone face down on the table, but she'd check it constantly. Becca called it out one night with her usual lack of filter. Are you waiting for someone important to text? Because you keep checking your phone and then getting this little smile. She said it innocent, genuinely curious, not realizing how it landed. Viola got defensive immediately. I'm allowed to check my phone, Becca. Oh, totally. I just meant it seems like you're waiting for something specific. That's all. Becca's face went red when she realized she'd stepped in something. Tension cracked through the booth. Ash changed the subject smooth, pulled conversation somewhere safer. But the damage was done. Viola left early. I found her crying in the car when I came out. Why does everyone have a problem with me lately? They don't have a problem with you, I said. Careful. They're worried. You've been different. Because I'm talking to Jake. That's ridiculous. He's a friend. It's more than talking, though. You're pulling away from us and leaning into him. That's what they're seeing. She didn't want to hear it. Shut down. Turned it around on me being insecure and everyone backing my paranoia. We drove home in silence. I started noticing smaller things. How she'd angle her phone away when I walked into a room. How she'd take calls outside, come back in with guilty energy. One night I heard part of a call through the bedroom door. Her voice soft, intimate. I know. I miss that too. Yeah, he wouldn't understand it. Jackson pulled me aside after pickup basketball one weekend. Listen, man. I saw Viola having coffee with Jake last week near the office district. Looked pretty cozy. You know about that? No, I said. She didn't mention it. Jackson's jaw tightened. You need to set some boundaries here before this gets worse. I know. I'm handling it. But I wasn't. I was letting it slide because I didn't want to be controlling. Because I trusted her to make the right call. Because I kept thinking she'd realize what she was doing and pull back. She didn't pull back. She went faster. The Vienna conversation came up again 2 months before my scheduled departure. I needed a final answer from Viola about whether she was coming. My firm needed to set up visas, housing, all the logistics. We sat down to talk it through. I laid out the timeline, what it would look like for her career, how we could make it work. She listened quiet, then dropped the bomb. I don't think I can go. My chest went tight. What do you mean? I mean Vienna sounds great for you, Nolan, but I'm finally stable here. My career's taking off. My family's here. And there are people here who are going through difficult transitions. I feel like I'd be abandoning them at a critical time. People, I repeated. You mean Jake? Her silence confirmed it. You're choosing to stay because your ex is going through stuff. Don't make it sound like that. He's fragile right now. I'm worried about him. What if something happens and I'm halfway across the world? Jake needs support more than I need my girlfriend with me. She got defensive. It's not just about him. It's about me not being ready for that level of change. You were ready 2 months ago. What changed? She couldn't answer that without admitting what we both knew. The silence stretched painful. Look, she finally said. Maybe some distance would be good anyway. We can see how we feel after some time apart. That wasn't distance. That was quitting without saying the words. Chapter 4. The Breakup. 1 week before my Vienna departure, everything fell apart. We were supposed to have dinner with the friend group. One last hangout before I left. Viola bailed an hour before. Said she wasn't feeling up for it. I went alone. Jackson, Becca, Ash, and I posted up at the diner, talking about Vienna stuff, what I'd miss about home. Ash's phone buzzed. She looked at it, face went dark, pulled up Instagram. Viola had posted a story. Her and Jake at some bar, drinks in hand, laughing at something off camera. Tagged location, timestamp showed 30 minutes ago. So she wasn't feeling up for this, Jackson said flat, but she was feeling up for drinks with him. Becca leaned over to see, made this disappointed sound. That's really bad timing, Nolan. Did she forget about tonight? She looked genuinely confused, like she couldn't piece together why someone would do that. I stared at the image. Her smile looked different, lighter, the way she used to smile with us before everything got complicated. Ash put her phone down gentle. What do you want to do? Nothing tonight. I'm not chasing her. If this is her choice, she can own it. We finished dinner. They walked me to my car. Ash gave me this look heavy with things she wasn't saying. You didn't deserve this, man. None of it. I drove home alone, sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes before going inside. The apartment was dark. She wasn't home yet. She came home after midnight. Tried to slip in quiet, but I was still awake on the couch. Couldn't sleep. Hey, caught. How was dinner? Good. We missed you. How are you feeling? She froze for half a second. Better now. Just needed some air. I pulled up the Instagram story on my phone. Showed it to her without saying anything. Her face went pale. That wasn't what it looked like. What did it look like? Jake had a rough day and needed to talk. It was last minute. I didn't think it was a big deal. We sat in heavy silence. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Message notification lit up the screen before she could grab it. It was from Jake. Just the preview text visible. You literally said he's just your placeholder. Stop acting guilty now. My blood went cold. I pointed at her phone. What's that mean? She snatched it up, face red. It's not what you think. Explain it then. Her mouth opened, closed. She couldn't. The silence was louder than any explanation could have been. She finally spoke, voice shaking. I think we need to take a break. I need space to figure out what I actually want without feeling guilty about it. Her words hung in the air. Not me asking for boundaries. Her ending it. Okay, I said. Just okay? She looked thrown, like she expected me to fight. What do you want me to say? You've made your choice clear. I'm not choosing him. I'm choosing myself. I need room to breathe without feeling monitored all the time. I didn't respond. Just let the silence sit heavy between us. She stared at me, tears building. That's really it? After everything we built? After everything we built? With me as your placeholder while you waited for him to get stable? Yeah, that's really it. She tried to walk it back then. That text wasn't what it sounded like. Jake was joking. We're just friends. But the words were hollow. We both knew. I stood up, went to the bedroom, started packing her things into bags. Not aggressive, just practical. She wanted space. She could have it. She watched from the doorway, sobbing. You're really doing this? You asked for space. I'm giving it to you. She left that night. Went to stay with Jake, I found out later. Exactly where everyone knew she'd end up. I sat alone in the apartment after she was gone. Looked at the ring box in my sock drawer one more time. Some questions don't get asked because the answer already showed up in a text message preview. I closed the box. Locked it away. Chapter 5. Vienna and the Ring. Reveal I left for Vienna on schedule. Jackson helped me pack the last boxes. We were taping up the final one when he asked, You really done with her? Yeah, I'm done. You still have the ring? I showed him. He whistled low. She has no idea what she threw away. Becca knows too. Ash told her after everything went down. What are you doing with it? Leaving it with you? Can you put it in your storage unit? I'm not taking it to Vienna. He nodded. Yeah, I got you. I handed him the box. He drove me to the airport. Handed me a flask at security. I appreciate you, man. Vienna hit different from day one. My apartment overlooked a small courtyard with cafes and bike paths. The office was international and sharp. Team members from Germany, Poland, France. I threw myself into work. Site checks across Central Europe. Learning EU rules that made US standards look simple. First month was adjustment. Transit system, grocery stores, everything closing Sundays. Loneliness hit at night, but I pushed through. Made friends with coworkers slowly. Thomas invited me to a football match. Marina showed me decent coffee spots. Started exploring on weekends. Museums, parks where old guys played chess. The Danube at sunset. Small moments that made Vienna feel less foreign. Some days I'd think about the ring in storage back home. Wonder what she was doing. Then I'd shake it off and focus forward. The friend group kept me updated through Jackson. He'd text sometimes. Group's still tight. Everyone asks about you. Viola's with Jake officially now. Seems happy, but who knows. A week later, another text. She's pulling back from us again. Skipped Thursday dinner. Said Jake doesn't feel comfortable with her spending so much time with people who judged him unfairly. Ash tried calling her. She didn't pick up. I didn't ask for details. Didn't need them. 2 months into Vienna, Jackson video called me late his time. Emergency group call. Can you join? Sure. What's up? Just get on. Ash is already connected. He added me to a group video. Ash was there looking serious. Becca was in the background at Jackson's place. Then I realized Jackson's camera was at an angle, like it was sitting on a table pointed at the couch. And Jackson wasn't looking at it. He was looking at someone off screen. Viola refused to be on camera, but I could hear her voice. My stomach dropped when I understood. Ash started talking, voice tight. Viola called me this morning, asked me to pick her up. When I got there, she was outside Jake's apartment building looking rough. Bruise on her cheek, scared. He hit her. The room went silent. I felt cold. What happened? Becca asked quiet. They got into an argument last night. Money or something. He grabbed her arm, shoved her, hit her across the face. She left immediately. Called me. She's been here since. Is she okay? I asked before I could stop myself. Physically, yeah. Emotionally, no. Ash looked drained. But here's the thing. She wants to go back to him. Says it was a one-time thing. He was stressed. She shouldn't have pushed him. Jackson's voice came hard. Absolutely not happening. Viola spoke up then, defensive. You don't understand. He's going through stuff. I escalated it. It's not all his fault. Ash cut her off. You ran back to the exact abuse you begged to escape years ago. The same patterns, the same excuses, and now you're making the same justifications. It's different this time. That's when Ash dropped it. He was about to propose. The silence was crushing. I heard Viola's breath catch. What? Nolan was about to propose before Jake came back. He bought the ring. He told me. He had plans. And you threw it away to go back to someone who hurt you then, and just hurt you again. You're lying. Voice cracking. You're trying to guilt me. I'm not. Jackson's voice. It's true. He told me to. Becca added soft. Ash told us about it, Viola. It was real. I heard Viola crying harder. I need to hear it from him. Let me talk to him. Ash looked directly at the camera. Nolan, you're still on the call, right? I cleared my throat. Yeah, I'm here. The crying got louder. She realized I'd been listening the whole time. Nolan, please. Is it true? I kept my voice level. Yeah, it's true. That was the past. Don't contact me again. I ended the video call. Sat in my Vienna apartment staring at the wall. My phone buzzed immediately. Viola trying to call. I declined it. Blocked the number. Jackson texted me. You good? I'm good. Make sure she files a report. Ash is taking her tomorrow. We got her. Another text came through a minute later. She collapsed when you hung up. Begged for the ring. Like sobbing, not mad. Ash had to take her phone. Still not your problem. Just telling you. Chapter 6. The Legal Fallout. Ash stayed with Viola that night. Next morning, she drove her to the police station. Jackson and Becca came along for support. She tried to back out in the parking lot. It wasn't that bad. I don't want to ruin his life. Becca looked around at the building, nervous energy spilling out. This place feels like a sad DMV. She caught herself immediately. Sorry. That was stupid. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Ash was firm. We're going in. You're making a statement. This stops now. They walked her inside. Gave statements about the timeline, the injury, the fear. Officer asked simple questions. Are you afraid to go home? Do you feel safe? Viola broke. Admitted no to both. They photographed her bruises. She signed the statement shaking. Filed for a protective order. Jake lost his mind when he found out. Started calling and texting from different numbers, switching between threats, apologies, and victim playing. The messages got more crazy as days passed. Jackson screened everything, saved receipts, built a folder organized by date and threat level. When Jake tried showing up at Jackson's place looking for her, Jackson called it in without opening the door. Violation documented. Police showed up, warned Jake, added it to the file. Her family got involved and made everything worse. Her sister and mom came over furious. Not at Jake, at her. You filed a police report? You're going to destroy his reputation over one fight? Why can't you just handle things privately? Think about how this makes us look. What will people say about our family? Her sister stood behind her mom like a favorite watching the problem child get scolded. Ash shut that down hard. He hit her. You're protecting the wrong person. Her mom got nasty. She's always been dramatic. Probably exaggerated the whole thing. Jake wouldn't do that unless she pushed him. Becca, bless her unfiltered heart, said it plain. Wait, why are you protecting the guy who hit your daughter? No answer to that. They left angry. Viola collapsed after they were gone. My own family doesn't believe me. They're more worried about reputation than whether I'm safe. The hearing came 2 weeks later. In their county, protective orders moved fast when there was documented injury and clear witness statements. Jake showed up in a suit, hairstyled, looking professional. Played the victim card hard. Said she attacked him first. He was defending himself. She's lying because he tried to break up with her. Classic abuser script. His lawyer tried painting her as unstable, suggesting a pattern of false claims. The protective order got granted anyway. Photos don't lie. Bruises documented. Text messages showing his threats. Timeline clear with witness statements. Judge wasn't buying it. Jake, you are to have no contact with Ms. Keller. No calls, texts, social media. You are not to go within 500 feet of her residence or workplace. Violation will result in immediate arrest. Do you understand? Jake nodded, jaw clenched tight. Outside the courthouse, Jake tried approaching her in the parking lot. Viola froze. Jackson stepped between them immediately. You were just told no contact. Walk away now. Jake held up his hands. Fake innocent. I just wanted to apologize. This got out of hand. Security guard was already walking over. Jake left before it could get worse. But his eyes promised this wasn't over. Through all this, Viola kept trying to reach me. Emails, messages through mutual friends, Instagram DMs from new accounts. Always the same stuff. I'm sorry. I messed up. I need you. Can we talk? I didn't respond. Didn't block every way because I wasn't trying to be cruel. Just didn't engage. She needed to heal, and I needed to move forward. Those paths didn't cross anymore. One email hit different, though. Sent 3 weeks after the hearing. Longer than the others. She talked about therapy, about finally getting the patterns she'd been repeating, about how the ring haunted her, how she kept imagining what she'd thrown away, how she needed to see it to believe it was real. I wrote back once. Short and direct. The ring existed. I planned a future with you. You chose someone else. That door's closed. Focus on healing yourself. Don't focus on me. Then I blocked that email address too. Chapter 7. Vienna Confrontation. 4 months into Vienna, I was settling into real stability. Got promoted to senior compliance officer. Salary bumped to $108,000. Started dating Elena from the office casually. Nothing serious yet, but nice. Life was genuinely good. Jackson called me on a Wednesday night his time. Morning mine. I answered walking into my office building. Hey man, what's up? We need to talk. He sounded stressed. Viola's been asking for your address. Absolutely not. I know. I told her no, but she's not letting it go. She's having a really rough time. Legal stuff with Jake is dragging out. Her family's still being terrible. She's asking every day. She said something that got to me. Said if she doesn't see you, she doesn't trust herself to stay away from Jake. That's manipulation, Jackson. I know. But what if she's serious? That's not my problem to solve. I know. Ash said the same thing, but she's wearing me down and I'm worried if I don't give her something controlled, she's going to spiral. Don't give her my address. That's a hard boundary. He was quiet too long. I already did. I'm sorry. My jaw clenched. You what? I gave it to her this morning. But listen, I set rules. She agreed. She's only allowed to message you first. No showing up at your building. Public places only if you agree to meet. I made it really clear those were the conditions. She's not going to follow those. I thought she would. I thought giving her something would calm her down. I'm sorry, man. Just wanted you to have a heads up. I hung up. Immediately called building security. Gave them Viola's description. Said she wasn't allowed access under any circumstances. They flagged it in the system. Pulled up building cameras from my phone. She was already there. In the lobby. Talking to the front desk. Getting denied. Breaking down crying in view of everyone. Security approached. Guided her outside. She'd broken the rules immediately. I watched her sit on the steps outside my building for an hour through the camera feed. Just sitting there. Waiting. Bike traffic passing by. People walking around her. She didn't move. Ash called. Jackson told me. I'm so sorry. This is on him. It's done. I'm handling it. You want me to call her? Try to get her to leave? No, I'll deal with it. I texted Viola from a work number she wouldn't recognize. This is Nolan. You broke the agreement. You're not getting into my building. You need to leave Vienna. She responded instantly. Please, I just need to see you. 10 minutes. That's all? No. I flew here. I don't have anywhere else to go. That's not my responsibility. You have a return flight. Use it. Please, Nolan. I'm begging you. 5 minutes in public, a cafe, anywhere. I just need closure. Against every instinct, I agreed to meet. Better to end it clean in public than have her show up at my building or workplace again. 1 hour at a cafe near my office. Public, controlled, final. She looked rough when she showed up. Thinner, tired, eyes red from crying. She sat down across from me, shaking. Thank you for meeting me. You have an hour. Say what you need to say. She talked fast. About the abuse. About therapy. About how she understood now that she'd been trauma bonded. Repeating patterns. Running from safety because chaos felt familiar. How she saw what we had through new eyes. How she regretted everything. How if she'd known about the ring, everything would have been different. I cut her off there. Would have been different if you knew there was jewelry involved? That's not how relationships work. You don't get to rewrite your choices because you found out there was a prize you missed. She flinched. Can I see it? The ring? No, please. I just need to know it was real. It was real. I don't need to prove anything. She started crying. I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I need you to know I see it now. What I did. What I threw away. I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting myself. You made your choices. I made mine. We're done. Can we try again? No. Why not? I've changed. Because I don't want to. I'm building a life here. You're not part of it. I stood up. Take care of yourself. Get on your flight. Don't contact me again. But I need... Okay. You need closure. You need to see the ring. You need me to forgive you. I get it. The answer's still no. I walked out. She followed me for a few minutes calling my name. Nolan, please, wait! A bike bell snapped behind us and I moved aside. She didn't. She just kept reaching. I kept walking. She sped up, grabbed my sleeve light. I stopped immediately, pulled my arm back. Don't touch me. I'm sorry. I don't have anyone else. You can't just say no after everything you did for me. Watch me. That doesn't make you entitled to me. He hit me and you're walking away. I'm not punishing you for being abused. I'm protecting myself from being your safety net again. I hope you heal, just not with me. I pulled out my phone, called Jackson, put him on speaker. She's here, following me. Broke your agreement immediately. You need to handle this. Jackson's voice came through firm. Viola, you promised you wouldn't do this. You said you'd respect his boundaries. I needed to see him. You need to get on a plane and come home. I'm booking you a flight right now. I'll text you the confirmation. If you're not on that plane, we're done. All of us. No more support. No more calls. You'll be on your own. That broke through. The idea of losing everyone, not just me. She looked at me one more time. Broken. I'm sorry. I know. But sorry doesn't change anything. She walked away. I texted building security to keep the flag active for 48 hours just in case. Called work and told them I might need to file something if she came back. They had my back. Jackson called back an hour later. She's confirmed on a flight out tonight. 6 p.m. Your time. I'm so sorry, man. I should never have given her your address. You were trying to help. I get it. But no more information about anything. Ever. Done. You have my word. Ash is pissed at me too. Said I handed her a map to his piece. We fought about it hard. I broke your trust and I broke the group's trust. I'm fixing it. Jackson came through. Ash texted me later. We all agreed. No more contact with Viola unless you approve it. She needs professional help. We're supporting her getting that. But she's not allowed to drag you backward. Thanks. I appreciate that. Viola's last message came through Ash 2 weeks later. She forwarded it with permission. She'd written it in therapy. Her counselor helped her understand boundaries and closure. It was long, detailed, apologetic without being manipulative. She took ownership. Said she understood why I couldn't respond. Wished me well in Vienna. Said she'd work on herself without expecting anything from me. I read it once. Didn't respond. Told Ash to let her know I received it and that I hoped she found peace. The ring stayed in storage back home. Jackson offered to sell it for me. I told him to hold on to it. Not for Viola. Just wasn't ready yet. Vienna settled into routine. Promotion done. Elena and I made it official after a weekend in Prague. Simple. Easy. Different. The friend group video called every few weeks. Ash, Jackson, Becca, me. Catching up, laughing, no mention of Viola. That chapter closed itself. Jackson and Becca set their wedding date next summer. Asked me to be in the party. Booked my flight home. Ash started seeing someone. Brought them on a call. The group approved. Building security cleared Viola's flag after 30 days. No more incidents. I came home one evening to Elena cooking in our Vienna apartment. She looked up. Good day? Yeah, good day. My phone sat on the counter. One unread email notification from an address I didn't recognize. Probably Viola. New account. Another attempt. I deleted it without opening. Elena handed me a glass of wine. We stood on the small balcony overlooking the courtyard. Bike traffic slowing as evening hit. String lights coming on at the cafe below. There was this jazz song playing from somewhere that I'd been hearing all week, but never figured out what it was called. Anyway, she leaned into me. This feels right. It does. My phone buzzed. Group chat. Jackson sent a photo from the diner back home. The booth. Empty except for a note card that said, Nolan's seat, Vienna branch. Becca's message, we miss you, but we're proud of you. Ash, come home when you're ready. No pressure. I pocketed my phone, looked out at Vienna, my city now. Elena squeezed my hand. You okay? Yeah. And I meant it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel and help us bring you more and better stories. Thanks.